We are not strangers to hardship. It is a shadow that has followed every human since the dawn of time. Our history is woven with the threads of suffering, of striving, of falling and rising again. Today, in a world full of noise, comfort, and distraction, we risk forgetting the true strength that lies within us. We are capable of more, of a resilience that is both ancient and untamed, and it is through this ancient path, this way of the Stoics, that we can reclaim it. The Stoics believe that true strength does not come from outside. It cannot be given or taken by others. It can only be found within. You have power over your mind, not outside events, said Marcus Aurelius. Realize this, and you will find strength. This power, this strength, is the beginning of all self-improvement. So, let us talk about how we can apply Stoic principles to strengthen the mind, to become fortified and unbreakable, to face the storms of life as though we ourselves were made of iron. Embrace hardship as a gift. What the world calls misfortune, the Stoic calls an opportunity. Hardships are not punishments. They are crucibles in which we forge our character, test our virtues, and hone our inner strength. We know, as Seneca wisely observed, that difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Just as the body grows strong through resistance, lifting burdens, enduring the strain, so too does the mind and soul grow resilient through trials. We do not merely tolerate hardship. We welcome it as a necessary element of life, a teacher without which we would remain untested, undeveloped, weak. And so, we do not shrink or cower. We look hardship in the eye as a sparring partner. When challenges approach, we face them with unyielding determination, knowing that each battle we endure adds layers of strength to the fortress within us. This does not mean that we are to be reckless or to invite suffering for its own sake. No. But when suffering finds us, as it inevitably does in this life, we respond as warriors, not victims. We do not ask, "Why me?" Instead, we ask, "What can this teach me? How can I become stronger from this?" This perspective does not lessen the difficulty, it transforms it. When we view hardship as an ally, our approach changes, for we realize it is there to reveal a deeper layer of our capacity, to bring forth strength we may not have known we possessed. In these moments, we must remember the Stoic lesson. Hardships are not random acts of cruelty, but necessary tools for growth. Consider Epictetus, who was born a slave and physically disabled, but rose to become one of the most respected Stoic teachers. He did not ask for an easier life. He sought to meet each hardship with a spirit that could not be conquered. He advised, "What upsets people is not things themselves, but their judgments about these things." And so, we are to see hardship not as something to flee from, but as a gateway to a higher understanding of ourselves. We understand that every obstacle holds within it the seeds of resilience. When the winds grow fierce, we do not curse them. We adjust our sails. We steady ourselves, brace our stance, and navigate forward with wisdom and grit. We let every challenge be a testament to our capacity to endure, to grow, to rise unbroken. Remember that it is through the fires of adversity that iron becomes steel. In the same way, we must pass through hardship if we are to know our true strength. So, let us greet life's trials as opportunities, tests that reveal what we are made of. We have within us a power forged by the knowledge that no hardship is in vain, that every struggle shapes us into the person we are meant to become. We grow not in comfort, but in struggle, and it is in struggle that we truly live. Control what you can, accept what you cannot. In our pursuit of self-mastery, we walk a fine line between what lies within our command and what does not. This wisdom, ancient and profound, is the foundation of Stoic strength. Epictetus imparted this truth to us, teaching that some things are up to us and some things are not. In his words, he captured a powerful insight, that freedom and peace lie in our ability to see clearly the boundaries of our control and to hold fast only to what we can command, our own minds, our own actions, and our own responses. Consider the storms that rage around us. Events will unfold, and people will act in ways we cannot anticipate or control. The Stoics understood this as a law of nature. We cannot prevent life's hardships or control the choices of others, nor can we bend the world to suit our desires. If we were to attempt this, we would be chasing shadows, fighting battles that cannot be won. But there is one battle we can win, the battle within. We can control our thoughts, shape our perspectives, and choose our reactions. This is our realm, the kingdom over which we are sovereign. To master this art of control, we must cultivate self-discipline, a practice of seeing each day as an exercise in shaping our responses, no matter what external events may occur. When we face joy, we can choose gratitude without clinging. When we face sorrow, We can choose acceptance without resistance. The Stoic does not numb himself to emotions. Rather, he learns to temper them, to direct them. He does not deny pain, but absorbs it, allowing it to pass without attaching his peace to the external forces that caused it. Epictetus urged us to make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. This is not a call to indifference. It is a call to focus, to turn our energy toward that which can be influenced, our inner lives, our judgments, our reactions. When we practice this discernment, we wear an armor that no disappointment, no rejection, and no misfortune can pierce. Imagine this: a man who stands in the midst of chaos, untroubled because he has mastered the art of self-governance. He is not detached from life, he is deeply engaged with it. But he does not let life's uncontrollable tides dictate his inner state. His tranquility is not vulnerable to circumstance, for he has rooted it within himself. This is not easy. It requires training, a daily effort to observe our thoughts and actions, to identify where our attention drifts to matters beyond our control, and to pull it back. We must be vigilant, aware of the subtle ways we give power to what is outside us: an insult, an unmet expectation, a disappointment. In these moments, we lose our freedom. But when we reclaim our attention, when we focus only on what is ours to command, we reclaim our peace. This is the power of self-control. It is the ability to respond rather than react, to remain grounded when the world around us sways. It is to say, I am responsible for myself, for my thoughts, and my actions, and I will let go of what is not mine. When we live in this way, we are not unfeeling. Rather, we are fortified, able to engage with life's uncertainties without fear or regret. We become unshakable, for we are rooted in the only true possession we have: ourselves. In this lies freedom, not from the world, but from dependence on it. This is the essence of Stoic self-mastery. Practice voluntary discomfort. To live as the Stoics is to understand that ease and luxury can weaken the spirit, while discomfort sharpens it. They knew that true resilience is built not in moments of convenience, but in the fires of discipline and intentional struggle. To fortify their minds, the Stoics engaged in voluntary discomfort, a practice of denying themselves certain comforts to strengthen their will. Musonius Rufus, one of Stoicism's wisest voices, called on us to endure discomfort so that we may be prepared when it comes unbidden. What did this look like? It was not a reckless drive towards suffering, but rather a series of small, calculated sacrifices designed to strengthen the character and fortify the soul. The Stoics practiced going without their usual meals, reducing their intake to remind themselves that they could endure hunger and still thrive. By willingly fasting, they taught themselves to separate needs from wants, and to understand that their strength was not tied to comforts, but to their own inner fortitude. Some Stoics slept on hard surfaces instead of soft beds, feeling the ground beneath them, the discomfort it caused, and reminding themselves that they were capable of facing a world without excess. These small acts of intentional austerity served as reminders of our ability to endure the world as it truly is, rather than relying on a world softened by luxury. They exposed themselves to the elements, walked barefoot in the cold or rain, enduring what nature had to offer without complaint. By embracing nature's rough edges, they found a resilience that couldn't be built in warmth and ease alone. Imagine this practice as a form of armor forging. Each act of voluntary discomfort is a hammer strike, shaping and strengthening us for the inevitable challenges ahead. The Stoic knew that life would bring pain and hardship, losses and disappointments, no matter how carefully one tried to avoid them. Preparing for such trials was an act of wisdom, a way to build strength in peacetime so that when the storms of misfortune arrived, one's inner resilience was already tested, tempered, and ready. By embracing discomfort, we remind ourselves that we are not slaves to our cravings or whims. We are more than our desires for comfort and ease. When we deny ourselves small pleasures, we uncover a deeper freedom, a knowledge that our well-being does not depend on luxuries. This is why the Stoic, though he might have the wealth of an emperor, would live as simply as a soldier. He knew that riches, comforts, and indulgences were fragile, impermanent things, and he sought strength that could endure, even if he were stripped of all he had. The wisdom of Musonius Rufus and other Stoics is clear. To be prepared for life's inevitable hardships, we must build a storehouse of resilience now. When we practice small acts of discomfort, missing a meal, setting aside our phones, walking instead of driving, we do more than train our bodies. We train our minds, our wills. We become sharper, stronger, more independent of the fickle rewards of comfort. In these practices, we prepare ourselves to face hardship with dignity and poise, for we know that we have walked through discomfort by choice. We have felt the sting of want, the pang of hunger, the ache of fatigue, and we know that they do not control us. Each act of voluntary discomfort is a silent affirmation that we are strong, that we are capable, that we are unyielding in the face of life's trials. This, the Stoic would say, is true freedom, the freedom to know that we can endure no matter what life may bring. Reflect daily on death and impermanence. Among the most profound Stoic practices is memento mori, the contemplation of mortality. The Stoics were deeply aware of the fleeting nature of life, but instead of letting this thought bring fear, they allowed it to sharpen their sense of purpose. Memento mori, remembering that we too shall die, serves as a constant reminder that each day, each hour, each moment is a gift. In this practice, we are called to reflect on our own impermanence and to see it not as a source of dread, but as a source of clarity and strength. Let us prepare our minds as if we had come to the very end of life, Seneca advised. In these words, he captured the essence of what it means to live with purpose, to strip away the distractions and trivial pursuits that occupy so much of our time. When we remember that our days are limited, we become intentional. We begin to recognize what truly matters and let go of what does not. To live each day as if it were our last is not a call to indulgence, but a call to integrity, a call to make each decision count. Consider what it means to begin each day with the knowledge that it could be your final one. This is not to darken our spirits or to live in fear, but to infuse our actions with urgency and meaning. When we know that time is finite, that life itself is fragile, we approach each moment with a greater sense of presence. We do not waste time in idle pursuits or let ourselves be weighed down by grudges, envy, or resentment. Instead, we focus on what is essential: to live fully, to love those around us, to act with virtue and honor, and to leave a mark that reflects our highest values. The Stoics believed that memento mori could release us from the chains of fear, fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of the future. These fears can paralyze us, preventing us from taking risks, from speaking truth, from living authentically. But when we reflect on death, we come to see these fears as small, insignificant compared to the vastness of life itself. Marcus Aurelius reflected on this often, reminding himself, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." In this way, death is not the end. It is the mirror that reveals life's true value. Through memento mori, we understand that death is the great equalizer. Regardless of wealth, status, or fame, all must eventually face it. This thought humbles us, keeping us grounded and connected to our shared humanity. It urges us to let go of pride and the pursuit of empty recognition. Knowing that our lives are a brief spark in the vastness of time, we can see our own problems in perspective, and we are freed from the relentless need to prove ourselves. We are liberated to live for our own reasons, guided by principles that truly matter to us. Each day we reflect on death, we recommit to life. We realize that there is no time to waste in pursuits that do not fulfill us or contribute to the world. We act with courage, for we understand that our time here is limited, and this understanding brings a sense of calm determination. We become like warriors preparing for battle, aware of the possibility of defeat, yet facing it with unwavering resolve. To live with death in mind is to value life deeply. We begin to live in a way that honors the fact that we are here, alive, breathing, able to choose, able to love, able to change. We take nothing for granted. Every conversation becomes more meaningful, every encounter more precious. We make decisions that reflect who we want to be remembered as, decisions that give our lives depth and dignity. The Stoic lives with a clear vision of the end, not to dwell on death, but to ensure that when that end comes, they will have lived with integrity, courage, and purpose. In this way, memento mori is not a dark reminder, but a torch that illuminates the path, showing us the way to live each day as if it were our only day. Through this practice, we learn that the awareness of death is, paradoxically, the key to a life well lived. Be just, be virtuous, be compassionate. True strength, according to the Stoics, is not cultivated for ourselves alone. A Stoic does not seek greatness merely to boast of personal achievement. Rather, we cultivate strength of mind and heart to be of service to others. Marcus Aurelius, a ruler with immense power, understood the purpose of this strength, writing that the fruit of this life is good character and acts for the common good. In his words, we find the call to live a life that serves not just our own ambitions, but uplifts those around us. A life of virtue, courage, and compassion is one that ripples outward, shaping not only ourselves, but the world we touch. The Stoics believed that we are interconnected, bound by a shared humanity and purpose. To live well, to grow in wisdom and strength, is to do so in the service of others, to become a force of goodness and stability for those around us. For the Stoic, self-improvement is a means to a greater end, to be a source of strength, a beacon of integrity, and a foundation of support. Our efforts to better ourselves are not selfish pursuits. They are part of a larger mission to contribute positively to the lives of those who walk this journey alongside us. Imagine this: a man or woman who has cultivated virtue, who stands strong in character, is one to whom others can turn in times of need. They do not act from pride, but from a genuine concern for others. When we live with justice, we create a world where fairness prevails. When we embody compassion, we lift burdens from those who struggle. In each act of kindness, each choice of integrity, we leave a mark of goodness that others can feel and remember. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that what injures the hive injures the bee, capturing the Stoic belief in the harmony of community. In a world focused on individualism, the Stoics saw that our fates are linked. The well-being of others is deeply connected to our own. When we act justly, we contribute to a world where justice thrives. When we act kindly, we create a world where kindness multiplies. Every small act has a larger impact, weaving a fabric of unity that binds us together. This commitment to virtue is not always easy, for it often demands sacrifice. We may need to give time we would prefer to keep, to lend a listening ear when we ourselves are tired, or to speak the truth even when it's uncomfortable. Yet, for the Stoic, these sacrifices are part of a larger duty, a role we accept with honor. We do not shy away from these responsibilities. We embrace them, understanding that to live virtuously is to live for something greater than ourselves. Consider the story of Cato the Younger, who lived his life with unwavering integrity and a fierce dedication to justice. He was known to stand for what was right, even in the face of opposition, refusing to compromise his principles for personal gain. Cato was aware that his choices would not only affect him, but set an example for others. His life embodied the Stoic ideal that true strength is shown not in words or titles, but in the courage to act in ways that serve the greater good, even at personal cost. We are called, like Cato, to be resilient in our commitment to justice, to be courageous in our actions, and to be compassionate in our treatment of others. This does not mean we are passive. We are to be wise and discerning, choosing to act in ways that are constructive rather than harmful. It is easy to be harsh, to pursue our goals at the expense of others, but the Stoic knows that real power lies in restraint, in compassion, and in the patience to understand and help those around us. Our goal, then, is not to chase empty accolades, but to build a life of substance, one that others can rely upon. To be Stoic is to be a steady presence in a chaotic world, to act with reason, and to treat others with respect and kindness. As Seneca wrote, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." Every interaction is a chance to embody these values, to be a light in dark times, a voice of calm in moments of conflict. When we pursue self-improvement, we do so with a purpose greater than ourselves. We become the kind of people who, through our own strength and wisdom, can lift others, inspire them, and serve as a foundation on which they too can build their lives. The Stoic does not seek glory, but goodness, not fame, but a life that makes a difference. We strive not only to be virtuous, but to extend that virtue outward, creating a ripple effect of compassion, justice, and courage in all that we do. To be just, to be virtuous, to be compassionate, these are not mere ideals. They are the pillars of a life well lived, a life that leaves a legacy far beyond our years. This is the Stoic way, to live in a way that elevates not just ourselves, but all those around us, contributing to a world that is a little brighter, a little kinder, because we were here. In this world, weakness hides behind comfort, but we are called to break free from comfort, to strengthen our minds, our wills, and our souls. The path of the Stoic is not one of ease, but one of purpose. Through hardship, we are tempered. Through discipline, we are fortified. And through our own quiet resilience, we find freedom. True freedom that no one can take from us. So, sons and daughters of strength, let us not wait for fortune to grant us her favor, nor curse her when she does not. We are here to grow, to serve, to endure, and to be unbroken. This is our calling, our path, and our legacy. Let us walk it with courage and determination, knowing that in the trials we face, we uncover our own might, the kind that cannot be shattered.